Jackson. Oh, I got this little thing. Our committee member Jackson, Westchester Jewish Council's Assistant Executive Director Pam Goldstein, our speakers from Sustainable Westchester, who I will introduce shortly, and all of you. Thank you so much for attending today. Before I introduce our special guest from Sustainable Westchester, let's go around the room and introduce ourselves. Please, because we have so many people on the call, please just say your name and the organization you are representing. Once you finish, please pick the person next to you on your screen, announce their name, and then they will be the next person to introduce themselves. We'll do this until everyone is introduced, and then I will introduce our guest speakers for today. So I'm going to begin. Bonnie Hagan, co-chair of Westchester Jewish Council Greening Committee, and I am passing the baton to Evan. Evan, are you here?
Absolutely. I'm Evan Kingsley, and it's a privilege to co-chair with Bonnie. I am representing Pleasantville Community Synagogue, which is my home synagogue, as well as the WJC board. I'll call on Rachel Carpatella next.
Hi, everyone. I'm Rachel Carpatella. I'm the Program Director of Commercial Building Decarbonization with Sustainable Westchester, and I'm a member of Temple Beth Torah and the Suffolk Y JCC.
Rachel, could you pick someone on the screen?
Lauren Bryce.
Hi, everyone. I'm Lauren Bryce. So happy to be on this call. I see some familiar faces, Bob, Judy, Karen. Nice to see you all. And I'm here today with Rachel from Sustainable Westchester to talk about grid rewards and energy smart homes.
Lauren, please pick someone.
Oh, sorry. How about Caitlin?
Hi, I'm Caitlin Armstrong. I am a Clean Energy Associate at Sustainable Westchester. Pam Goldstein.
Hi, I'm Pam Goldstein from the Westchester Jewish Council. I just want to thank all of you for being here today, and I will kick it over to Beverly.
Hi, everybody. I'm Beverly Picker. Nice to be with you. I've missed a lot of the sessions before this one. I'm with Scarsdale, Tremont Temple, and Emmanuel. And my person I will pick, well, Bonnie, you were already picked. Okay, Karen Sabath.
Hi, thanks, Beverly. It's Karen Sabbath from Sheree Tefillah in Bedford. I'm the chair of our green team. And I'll pick Judy.
Thanks, Karen. I'm Judy Zinger from Bet Am Shalom Synagogue, and I'm chair of the green team. We call ourselves the Green Chevra. And I will pick. Did Jackson go already?
No. Thanks,
Jackson.
Judy. I'm a board member with WJC and on the Green Committee, and also representing Congregation Sons of Israel, along with Bob Schloss, who can introduce himself next.
Okay, so you know what synagogue I belong to, and I'm glad to be here. I will turn it over to Rabbis Ben and Shoshana.
Hi, everybody. I'm Rabbi Shoshana Elise, and I represent Pleasantville Community Synagogue, as well as the Hebrew Congregation of Somers.
And I'm Rabbi Ben Newman, and I represent Pleasantville. We have to turn it to something.
Our neighbor and friend, Kirsten Kleinman. We live in Dobbs Ferry, by the way.
Hi, guys. Good to see you. Thanks. I'm here from Woodlands Community Temple, representing our environmental task force. We also have two other members here today. Like I said, we've been actively working on our environmental audits, so this is all very exciting. Thanks for having me. I am going to have to leave early teaching a class, but I'm going to hand it over to Jay Mendelson, who is also with our environmental task force.
Hi, everybody. I'm Jay Mendelson. I'm sitting in a doctor's office in a lobby, so hence the mask. But yeah, I work with Kirsten, and I'm really interested in the subject. I actually teach environmental science at State University of New York at Stony Brook, where I'm on the faculty of mechanical engineering. So I'm definitely interested in this subject. Thank you.
Please pick somebody to go next.
I don't know who is next to me because I'm trying to do this on a phone. I apologize.
That's okay. I'll pick someone for you if that's okay.
Please.
Sure, Daryl Moss.
Hi, everyone. I'm Daryl Moss. I'm happy to say that I'm on Bonnie's Green Committee at Congregation Colony in White Plains. And I'll pass this on to Ellen Weininger.
Thank you, Daryl, and thank you, everyone. It's great to see all of you and have the opportunity to share this information and to see Rachel and Lauren. My name is Ellen Weininger. I'm actually wearing two hats. I am a member of the Temple Israel Center, which is synagogue, which is in White Plains, and a co-chair of the Green Team. I am also director of educational outreach at Grassroots Environmental Education, a national science-based environmental health nonprofit, and I get to I have the honor and privilege to work with Lauren and Rachel and a few other folks on this screen. So thank you so much. It really great to see all of you. Look forward to this program.
Please pick somebody else, Ellen.
Oh, sure. Marlene.
Hi, I'm Marlene Colbert. I'm from Larchmont Temple, and I also represent HOW, which stands for How Green, which stands for Houses of Worship. And I'm happy to say that Lauren Boyce is going to speak for us in February at a How Green event. And I'll pass it on to Bonnie Weinbach.
Hi, I'm Bonnie Weinbach. I also belong to Larchmont Temple. I'm on the Green Committee. And I'll pass it on to Paul. I think he's on.
Yep. Hi, Paul Katzenstein, also with the Larchmont Temple Green Team Committee as well. And I'm running out of people who may not have gone, but how about Kristen Kleiman? Have you gone?
I have gone, but I'd like to throw it to Roberta Roos, who is also here with us.
Thank you.
I'm Roberta Roos, and I'm co-chair of the Social Action Committee at Woodlands Community Temple. Andrew Horowitz, have you gone yet?
Andrew Horowitz, member of Greenberg Hebrew Center. And actually, we had Sustainable Westchester do a presentation February during COVID. So I'm not sure who is left to go.
We have a few. How about Mark Carell?
Thanks. Hi, everybody. Mark Carell, Westchester Jewish Center in Mamaroneck. And how about Nancy Sklar?
Hi, Nancy Sklar. I'm here for Greenberg Hebrew Center in Dobbs Ferry, along with Andrew, who just spoke a couple minutes ago.
Nancy, do you see anybody? I think we have is there Marcy?
Wait, Marty Rogowski hasn't gone yet.
Thanks, Pam. Marty Rogowski, board member of WJC, former president of the Jewish Community Center of Harrison. And I have to say, sitting here, I'm old enough, it reminds me of the game of concentration, trying to think of remember who has or hasn't gone, and it's giving me crazy memories from many years ago.
Thank you. Marcy?
Yes, I'm Marcy Avalasset. I'm with Congregation Emmanuel of Westchester. We're actually in Harrison with the Rye Post Office. We're our schizophrenic temple, and I am co-chair of the Social Justice Committee.
Thank you. Did Gillian go?
Jillian,
my apologies. Did Jillian go already or?
No, she didn't.
She didn't. Jillian, if you're there, you want to?
Yeah, sorry, I can't access the phone, the camera at the moment, but I'm from Beram Shalom, and I'm part of the Green Chevra, Judy Zinger, who co-chairs.
Thank you. I think we got everybody. I'm not certain if there's someone we didn't get. Please just unmute yourself and speak right now. Okay. So thank you, everybody. It's nice to see some new faces, some old faces. And while I volunteer for this committee, many of you know that in my professional life, I work on mitigating the climate crisis by helping buildings use energy efficient technology to reduce energy consumption. And every day during the course of my day, I have the opportunity to think of the many facets of addressing climate change. One facet that I keep coming back to is connections. We are all living on this earth, and we are all connected. Anything we do that affects climate change also affects everyone else. That is why it pleases me so much that we come together as a group to make these connections and to discuss, share, and learn from each other in achieving our common goal. That is why, as a committee, we created our climate checklist to help connect people and ideas that bring us closer to achieving our goal. Thank you to those of you who filled it out. You know who you are. Thank you for filling it out and sending it in and sharing your progress and your ideas with our committee. It's out of this checklist that we were able to ascertain what you needed as leaders of your Jewish community's greening efforts to connect with your respective communities in helping you attain your climate goals. We know that the organizations represented on this call are in various stages of greening their facilities and in engaging their members or congregants about what they can do at home. No matter the stage that you and your organization may be in, the one thing that came out loud and clear from the checklists that were submitted was a desire to learn about the various resources available to take on these tasks, which can sometimes seem unsurmountable. You asked for it and we answered. At our last meeting, we connected with Lior Milgram Gartner from Hazan, who is leading the efforts of the Jewish Climate Leadership Coalition, and offered up free consultations in creating and implementing climate action plans, in addition to low cost and no cost funding opportunities. And today we are connecting with Sustainable Westchester, a local organization with programs designed to serve our Westchester community and accelerate our transition to a clean energy economy. Our guests, Lauren and Rachel, will share with you information about their suite of tools, including technical assistance, financial incentives, tax rebates, and low-cost financing resources. What's even better is that these resources do not duplicate or replace the resources we spoke about with Hazan, but in fact, they complement each other. So in the spirit of making more connections, let me introduce you to Rachel Carpatella and Lauren Bryce. Rachel, besides being fond of making sufganiyot, as she mentioned before, is the program director of commercial building decarbonization of Sustainable Westchester, and she will let you know about programs for your commercial facilities, such as your synagogues, schools, JCCs, and the like. And Lauren Bryce, who is the program director of Energy Smart Homes and Grid Rewards for Sustainable Westchester, will let you know about programs for you for your homes personally, as well as engaging the congregants or members of your respective organizations to address climate change at home, in addition to providing fundraising opportunities for your organization in the process. So if you have any questions while they're speaking, please put them in the chat and we will address them during the Q&A session afterwards. Without further ado, Rachel and Lauren, you can decide who goes first. All right, Rachel and Lauren, you are both muted.
Great. Okay, but now you see slides, you see everything. You hear me okay?
I can hear you. I can see the slide. What about everybody else?
Good stuff. Always technical difficulties, but it seems like we're off on a good start. Okay. I don't know why I can't see everybody, but if Bonnie, everything looks good, I'm just going to start.
I can see you. I can only see you. Oh, now I can see everybody else. Okay.
All right. So I think a lot of the group here is familiar with the work of Sustainable Westchester, but just in case, I'm going to go over the basics and then I'll be talking about different community campaigns that Sustainable Westchester can offer. And then Rachel's going to be talking about different ways that you can actually green your facilities. So I'm really glad that we can introduce Sustainable Westchester. We are a nonprofit consortium of Westchester governments, and it's our goal to enable sustainability programming to help ensure a better future for our communities. And the fact that we are a nonprofit consortium with each municipality in Westchester County being a member really helps us strengthen our offerings to the community, because we're able to serve residents, municipalities, businesses, nonprofits, houses of worship. We've got programs for everyone with the backing of the municipality. So every single municipality in green on the map is a member of our organization, and that also includes Westchester County itself. And together, we're all facilitating effective collaboration. So that's kind of the story for Sustainable Westchester. But if you are thinking about New York State as a whole, we are part of a really impressive nation-leading goals for climate mitigation. So if you look at the numbers for these goals, we have a target of 70% renewable energy on our electricity grid by 2030, which is kind of a long way to go, because right now we're at about 28% renewable energy, and 2030 is not too far away. So all the programs that we're talking about today will directly contribute to making progress on reaching these really impressive goals. Okay. And then zooming back into Westchester, even though so New York State's got these impressive goals, they have the CLCPA, we're putting money behind reaching these goals. We are all feeling the effects of climate change every single day. This map is a little preview of how, based off of climate change projections and the warming trends that we see in New York State, by the end of the century, summers are going to look more similar to summers in Louisiana here at home. So change is on the horizon, and we are doing everything we can to mitigate carbon emissions in our area. We're doing that in a really thoughtful way by looking at what are the source of carbon emissions. Sustainable Westchester's programs directly target these categories that have higher emission levels. So Rachel and I today will be talking a lot about residential and commercial energy consumption. We also at Sustainable Westchester have different programs to reduce energy and reduce carbon emissions in each sector. So this is a little preview of the different programs that we offer here at Sustainable Westchester. You may be familiar with our biggest program, Westchester Power. That's a community choice aggregation program. Different municipalities are opted in to switch their residents' electricity supply to a green source. People still keep their utility if it's Con Ed or NYSEG, but we're changing the supply source. That makes a huge difference in helping the municipalities reach their carbon reduction goals. So with Westchester Power, we're reaching over 145,000 customers across Westchester County. We also have a community solar program. Residents can save 10% on their energy bill without adding solar to their facility. And I know Karen Sabbath from Bedford has done a big community solar campaign at her temple. So each one of these programs does have marketing capabilities if you wanted to bring information directly to your congregation. So we're going to talk about energy smart homes today, commercial heating and cooling we're going to cover, and grid rewards we'll talk about. But these other resources are also here: clean transportation, electric vehicles, electric landscaping, and zero waste efforts are also underway here at Sustainable Westchester. So feel free to reach out to us after this call or in the future. Would be happy to come and give detailed presentations to your congregations, to your green committees, whatever it may be. Okay. I think I have the same slide, like repeating. Here we go. Okay, so to get right into our first program, Grid Rewards, it's a demand response program. I know that there's people on this call participating in Grid Rewards demand response. Maybe you want to raise your hand or give a little reaction, thumbs up, or put in the chat. Even if you participated and you've received money back at the end of the year, feel free to put that in the chat too. I think it's kind of fun to share what we're all up to. So Grid Rewards right now is a program that is for residents that live in Con Ed, residents and small businesses, including nonprofits that live in Con Ed territory. Soon, when the NYSEG smart meters are enabled, I'm thinking that's going to be towards the end of 2023, Grid Rewards will be enabled then. So I want to show this short video, and maybe I'm going to start playing it And if someone could just unmute and say, I hear it, that would be helpful for me. Start this.
What if you could earn cash by saving electricity and help the environment all at the same time? Now you can with Grid Rewards, the app that pays you to save electricity. Grid Rewards partners with local utility companies to help reduce usage at peak demand times when electricity production is most harmful to the environment. By participating, you can earn up to 20% of your electricity bill in cash. Here's how. Download the free app to your phone and connect Grid Rewards with your utility account. Next, we'll send you alerts at peak demand times, so you know how and when to power down. This is called a Grid Rewards event and usually happens on a few hot summer afternoons. At the end of the Grid Rewards season, we'll send you a check for your annual earnings. Download Grid Rewards now and join the community that earns cash for creating a cleaner planet.
Okay. I like to show that video just as an introduction to.
What if you could earn cash by
Let's see if I can get it to go to the next slide.
What if you could earn cash by saving electricity?
Oh gosh. Okay, there we go. So as the video was talking about, Grid Rewards is an app. You download it on your phone. You can also access it via the computer, and you sign up by hooking it up to your Con Edison account. And it's a great way to reduce energy at key times over the summer. So I like to say my own experience, I live in White Plains and I participated with Grid Rewards last summer and the summer before. And in the previous summer, I got a check for $106 for not really doing too much. There was about 5 demand response events that summer. They were a couple hours long each. And I actually only participated in 3 out of the 5. So there's some good money to be made in a residential setting. And also it can apply to a house of worship as well. So not only would there be cash back, but the more important part is the carbon reduction that's associated by participating. So let's see the next slide. This is just a little preview of what the app looks like and the information that someone could find within Grid Rewards. So you can use the app to check if it's a good time of day to use electricity. So before I run the laundry machine or do the dishwasher, I often check the app to see if the grid is more carbon intensive at that time. And you know, if the app is telling me there's too much carbon intense energy on the grid, I'm happy to delay doing my chores. So I use the app to help build energy literacy in my own life. And it also can give you some great insights into energy usage. You can toggle through your daily usage of electricity to see not only the kilowatt hour measurements, but also the carbon emissions that are associated with that energy usage and the cost of it. So it's a great app to really get people involved in their electricity usage. Perhaps they haven't been considering this before, and it's just building information year round. You can click through and it has ideas based off the season of how you can lower your electricity usage overall as well. And now I just want to talk about, in the video, they mentioned peaker plants kind of quickly, but that is the real impetus for having a demand response program such as Grid Rewards in play. So if you imagine in the summertime when everyone's running their electricity, hogging ACs, and we're all demanding and calling for more electricity, the grid is at its peak energy usage. So at that time, the utility needs to call upon their peaker plants, is the name for these power plants. These peaker power plants are basically the older power plants that have been semi-retired. They come online for a couple hours a year sometimes. And the bad news is they're heavily polluting, and they're mostly all located in environmental justice communities. So in Westchester, we don't have any peaker plants, but our energy demand from Westchester tells the utility to turn on their peaker plants located in New York City, such as Sunset Park. So we want to do everything that we can to collectively reduce emissions at reduce demand at key times so that these peaker power plants don't need to turn on. And the good news is the utility is paying these peaker plants millions of dollars to turn on for these high demand times. So that money can be spent in a different way. Instead of the utility paying the peaker plant, they can instead reward customers by paying them for the demand drop. So we had a webinar a few weeks ago in collaboration with all these groups. You could see at the bottom of this slide, Clean Energy Group, The Point, and Uprose really digging into the environmental justice impacts of peaker plants. And the stories are heartbreaking to consider how people are suffering from asthma and noxious chemicals from our electricity usage. So while there's many benefits to participating in demand response with grid rewards, for me, the peaker plant one is the most important. So what can we do about it? Well, we can run a community campaign with your house of worship. So you can see here on the slide, there is a flyer, and up in the top is the logo of Kol Ami. So last year, we enrolled the synagogue, the building itself, to participate in the demand response events, and they promoted it to their congregation. So for every person in the congregation that signed up, there was a little bit of a fundraising component. People could use the referral code, and both parties will get $10 that go towards the payment at the end of the year. And it's a great way to model kind of like a good example to your congregation that the buildings, the campuses are participating in demand response, and to encourage their congregations to do the same. So we're going to be running a cohort of houses of worship that are interested in participating in a special grid rewards campaign. The campaign is going to be from February to April 2023, and we will provide everything that you would need to run a campaign in your synagogue. So flyers, banners, social media graphics. We have a whole toolkit. This is just a preview of the toolkit, and we'll be running informational sessions. We'll be doing webinars, and we would love if your synagogue or your group has decided to come and join us in the cohort. So to express interest in that, all you need to do is send me an email. I'll drop that in the chat. And as I'm just finishing up here, I can mention there's a QR code if you're not yet participating in grid rewards. And I have to check the chat. I can't see it right now, but I wonder if anyone wrote in their experience with the app. If you're interested in downloading it right now, you can hold your phone up to the screen, scan that QR code, and get started testing out grid rewards. Right now, if you sign up, you'll be learning about your energy usage and getting ready to participate in summer 2023. And I'll just quickly mention another potential campaign. I wanted to focus more on grid rewards because this cohort is coming up soon. But if you have any inclination to advertise geothermal, air source heat pumps, home energy efficiency, and insulation, our Energy Smart Homes program is here for you as a resource. We have pretty much anything and everything that a homeowner would need as they consider doing energy upgrades to their property. So Sustainable Westchester is here. They can call us on the phone, email. We work with people to figure out which technologies may be right in their home. We have a list of recommended contractors, and we also have a marketing toolkit, same as what I showed you for grid rewards, but this time for Energy Smart Homes. So just a reminder, these are the technologies that we are promoting: home energy efficiency, insulation, heat pump hot water heaters, ground source heat pumps, and air source heat pumps. And we really want to get in front of people with this information because these are big jobs and people are planning for the future. Many folks are thinking about what are the incentives from the utility. Con Ed's utility rebate will be starting again next year. And big rebates will be flowing through the Inflation Reduction Act. So if you have any interest in getting this message out to your congregations, really, we're more than happy to share. We've got the list of partner contractors and then also the marketing resources inventory everything you need to run a mini campaign, or maybe you just want to put something into a newsletter or add it to the website. You are free and welcome to use anything from the marketing toolkit. Okay, so that covers everything for now, and I think we're going to switch over to Rachel.
Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Thanks. Hi, everyone. I'm Rachel Carpatella, and I run the Building Decarbonization Program for commercial properties and networks. I'm going to go through the policy and regulatory impetus. Decarbonize? Who says so? The benefits. How will this help you? Our program overview. What do I do? And some examples. Has this worked in other places? Opportunities. What can you do? Westchester County is gas constrained. A few years ago, Con Ed stopped connecting new buildings to gas. More recently, in July, New York State adopted the Utility Thermal Energy Network and Jobs Act, which requires all the gas utilities across the state to pilot thermal energy networks, where gas utilities can now distribute thermal energy instead of gas to heat and cool our buildings. The Inflation Reduction Act, commercial properties can get up to a 50% investment tax credit for decarbonizing their buildings. The New York State Climate Leadership and Community Protection Act, we know that 30% of greenhouse gas emissions come from buildings on-site combustion of fossil fuels. And NYSERDA and Con Edison's available technical and financial support, well over $650 million, which will be increased as Inflation Reduction Act dollars come to our local agencies. So the benefits of building decarbonization. No burning of fossil fuels. It's a non-pipeline solution. You reduce construction and other capital costs, reduce maintenance costs, save space in buildings, improve occupant comfort, improve indoor air quality, and pursue green building certifications. If you were in New York City, we could say, and be in compliance with local law 97. Not here in Westchester, at least not now. Program approach. We aggregate local, state, utility, and federal resources. So as Bonnie mentioned earlier, that includes incentives for the installation of particular equipment, connection with technical assistance, free or low-cost feasibility studies and energy studies, financing, individualized consultation with building owners. So I understand that Lior also offered this. This is something that I do as well. I will consult with you on a one-on-one basis and offer individualized support to decarbonize your building. Roundtable meetings with key partners to develop industry connections. So part of this market transformation, one of the challenges is that, well, I've been working with my HVAC guy forever. I know this person. They know how to, this is the way that we've operated our buildings. So it's about making those new connections. And in our roundtables that we coordinate, you have the opportunity to be in a more informal setting and hear from different industry players about their recent projects, or hear from other building owners about their recent experiences, and you can ask questions and people share best practices and lessons learned. Podcast and webinar series development to share best practices and lessons learned. So we also develop, you can see the picture there, that we produce the Conversations in Clean Energy podcast. I welcome everyone to listen to it. You can listen to it anywhere that you listen to podcasts already. And our webinar series development. And we have featured houses of worship as case studies in those forums previously. Consultation with municipalities to align resources and policy. We work with municipal leadership, with conservation advisory committees, with planning departments, with the Department of Public Works to align opportunities, resources, policy to decarbonize buildings that might be low-hanging fruit, or that they have a really great opportunity based on other things that are happening in that area. And increased visibility of clean heating and cooling and community heat pump systems via case studies. And we do events like these that are led by municipalities, trade organizations, professional groups, industry groups, and chambers of commerce, or we'll come and talk to any association or group that you might be a part of. So keep us in mind for other networks that you're engaged in. I'd love to give a presentation. My aim is to help decarbonize your building. This is kind of in a step-by-step order, although sometimes these steps might go in you might have to tweak them a little bit, but we can facilitate a low-cost energy audit, guide your decarbonization strategies, so we can review that audit with you, identify non-competitive funding opportunities and competitive grants. These are always changing, and we have our finger on the pulse of available funding opportunities. Connect with solution providers that we've been working with for over 3 years now. Present financing opportunities. Again, these are the financial products that are newly arising, and I'm going to familiarize myself with the available financial products through Hazan. So I will be able to speak to that as well, and discuss how you can leverage those financial products to decarbonize your building. And participate in community-wide energy system transformation. This is related to the thermal energy network development that I'm doing. And so if you have a property in a commercial property in White Plains, Hastings, Dobbs Ferry, Portchester, Yonkers, Greenburgh, Mount Vernon, or Peekskill, I would encourage you to reach out to me, send me an email, give me a call, and let me know that your building is in one of those areas. And then I can keep you in mind as we develop clean thermal energy networks, as you could be a participant in one of those. We launched the Westchester Geopossibilities tool with NYSERDA, Goldman Copeland, all these folks here back in July of 21. And this is a great resource for anyone, I'm going to click on it, who's interested in seeing if your property, if a geothermal system could be the best option for your building in Westchester County. This is a New York State resource that was developed just for Westchester, again, because we are a gas moratorium area, a gas constrained area. So I will drop this link in the chat so that everyone can go ahead and put your address in there, get really excited about decarbonization. And geothermal is one of the solutions. It's the most efficient way to heat and cool your building. And I'd like to share I'm going to share this quick video, which is an introduction to thermal energy networks, aka community heat pump systems. And these can be used either for if you have multiple buildings on a site, it could just be for your couple of buildings that you own, or it could be used for your buildings and buildings that are owned by others nearby. And as I mentioned, the utility is currently developing some pilot projects. So there's a lot going on in this space.
Did you know that just a few feet below ground, the temperature is a constant 55 degrees year-round? This consists.
Rachel, a sound cut when you muted.
And Eversource is harnessing it with an innovative shared network that services an entire neighborhood. This shared network has 3 main components. First, there is an intricate system of vertical and horizontal underground pipes filled within an environmentally friendly liquid called propylene glycol. Second is a unit called a heat pump that is installed within your building. Third is conventional ductwork, which many buildings have or can be installed. Here's how these components use geothermal energy to heat your home in winter. Vertical pipes, strategically spaced throughout the network, loop hundreds of feet below ground, where the liquid inside is warmed by the earth. A larger horizontal pipe closer to the surface acts as a shared main that carries the earth-warmed liquid throughout the neighborhood. Service lines off the main bring the heated liquid into individual homes and businesses. The building's heat pump then concentrates the thermal energy and converts it into hot air that is pumped through the ductwork to keep you warm and cozy. Having transferred its heat to the building, the liquid within the pipes is now sent back through the network, where it is once again warmed by the earth, and the cycle repeats. In summer,
it's in reverse. So it was interesting when we were meeting with Lior that she mentioned some shuls that were near each other in a municipality, and we said, oh, are there, I said, are there congregants that live in that neighborhood? Maybe they walk to shul. She said, yeah, right. So there's the opportunity potentially for a shul to have a thermal energy network with the homes of congregants nearby as well. So that, as I said, there's a lot this is emerging work, this is exciting work, and there are a lot of resources available to develop these systems right now, because New York State is very interested in learning more about them. Where is my presentation? Oh, here, this is, okay. Go, nope, I don't want to do that. I go like this, love it. Nope, next slide. Okay, so here are a few examples of ground source heat pumps and some of the funding that was available back at that time. So this was a housing complex that was completed in 2016, and NYSERDA provided $68,000. Now you would get much more than that for including the Inflation Reduction Act. And I included all of these case studies in here so that when I share my slide deck with you all, you'll have them to look through in a closer way. And we can see that there is another very notable house of worship here in New York City, St. Pat's Cathedral, that was retrofit with geothermal. What can you do? You can lead your community to net zero emissions by including building decarbonization in your climate action plan for new and existing buildings. Identify buildings that are in need of capital projects, if you're refinancing, or mid-cycle retrofits. We can help you with either of those. And you get an energy audit, reach out to me to help you do all the above and take next steps to get off fossil fuels. And then we can share your own stories, successes, and challenges with the network. Thank you. Here is my contact information, and I look forward to continuing this conversation with many of you. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Rachel and Lauren. That was chock full of information. We have a few questions in the chat, which I'm going to read to you, and then I'm going to need to turn this over to my co-chair, my amazing co-chair, Evan, in a few minutes, because we only have like 14 minutes left. So let me check the chat right here. Why am I not finding my chat? 1 second. Here it is. Okay, so Jack asked, what does it mean to deliver thermal energy?
I think that was answered in
That was the answer.
the video.
The video, that's
okay.
Yeah. Okay, great.
Thank you. Karen asked, will it still be an investment tax credit or be able to be used by a nonprofit?
Yes, it is. So the investment tax credit that was previously available for geothermal and solar was not, you would have had to assign it to your solution provider. But with the Inflation Reduction Act, they made a provision where nonprofits and non-tax paying entities can receive a direct payment of the investment tax credit.
Awesome. Thank you. And I think some of the other questions that I got chatted to me privately, you already answered in your presentations. Are there any other questions? You can unmute if you have Evan, did you have a
I'll say
question?
also the base investment tax credit is 30%. And then there are two 10% adders based upon the type of labor and the area that you're in. But I mean, no one's scoffing at 30%.
Wow.
Yeah.
I have a question that may apply to a number of buildings that are radiator heated, that are baseboard heated rather than forced air heated. Is there a way to use thermal energy to run a system that that pumps hot water through a radiator system?
Yes, there are water-to-water systems.
Awesome. Any other questions before we move on to the next part of the meeting? Thank you again, Rachel and Lauren. Thank you so much. I'm sure people will think about it and there will be follow-up questions. And they both put their contact information in the chat. So everybody, please feel free to reach out to them if you want to carry the conversation further. And right now I want to turn the meeting over to my co-chair, Evan, again, who will tell us about webpage resources and hopefully about native plants.
Thank you so much, Bonnie. The quick piece is about our next meeting, which will take place in February. Pretty sure it's February 15th. We'll have a presentation from the Native Plant Center, which is located at Westchester Community College. That presentation will help us to think about thoughtful and sustainable, the thoughtful introduction of sustainable plant material and ways of caring for that material through irrigation systems that are more environmentally sensitive. We thought that'd be a good program for February as synagogues and other Jewish institutions start to think about how their landscapes will be managed beginning in the spring. And also there may be some shuls that are thinking about doing some replanting. So I think you'll enjoy that. I'm certainly looking forward to that. It takes us outside of buildings into the environment around us, but adds a nice dimension to our literally greening committee. What I'd like to ask you to do now is I'm going to put on the screen and also have shared in the chat the URL for a new page that we've added to the WJC website. I'm looking just at my other screen. Let me just share it with you. Our committee now has its own webpage. It's called the Greening Roundtable webpage. It's pretty basic at this time. It gives a little description at the top, and then it has a section called Resources and Recent Programs. What I'd like to ask for your help in doing in these last 5 to 7 minutes of our conversation is to help us, Bonnie, myself, and Pam, to catalog the resources that you think ought to be on this page. Obviously, we're going to start with today's Sustainable Westchester presentation, and that'll include perhaps bullets on grid rewards, on commercial decarbonization, and about Westchester geo possibilities. But I'm wondering if you could just take a moment to think, what else might we add to this page that you would want to see, that you would want to reference, or that you might want to direct other people to, based on your knowledge of the resources that are out there? Anybody have an idea? I'll start with Judy Zinger, and I'll carefully, Pam, if you can join me in just taking some notes so we make sure we get this right. Judy?
I was going to add it to the chat. The checklist, is that there?
Yes, it is.
Oh, it is.
Yes, okay. The checklist is here. I think it's there's a statement, the Roundtable's greening checklist provides a framework for facility improvements, and you can download a copy.
Oh, right there, duh.
That's good. That's good. Anybody else? What else might we put on this page that would be helpful to you? Maybe from a program from the last couple of years, perhaps one that I missed before I joined this committee. Anybody have any thoughts?
How about announcements of people who are doing synagogues that are having interesting programs that other people might avail themselves or go to?
Good. interesting programs at synagogues. And it occurs to me, Marlene, that we could also just distribute that to this group too through an email if we know that there's another synagogue that's holding one of those.
Right, I think Bonnie's going to send you one from our synagogue.
Excellent.
I think it'd be great if you had some case studies, and maybe you've already said or outlined it, or maybe blog posts of what certain synagogues have done and been successful in accomplishing, or might even be working on. I mean, I think it would be really great to have something interactive. So I know if you have the checklist and maybe all of our contact information, but if somebody's doing the one of the Sustainable Westchester programs, like how did it go? And have this interactive conversation ability.
I'm wondering too, Karen, how to do that in a way that's kind of efficient and easy to maintain. Perhaps we'll come up with a very simple format for case study, like an image, what was the problem, how was it resolved, what resources did you use, so that we can easily post those, and also the contact information. That's a great idea. Thanks.
Yeah, I would just suggest that not be PDFs, so it can be really searchable somehow.
Yeah, it's a very good point. Yeah. Rabbi Ben and Rabbi Shosh.
Hi, thank you so much. First of all, I just want to take a moment to mention the Garden of Hope in Northern Westchester is an amazing multi-faith space for teaching, living, doing sustainable work together and building community across all the borders and boundaries we have. It's win-win-win-win. And talk to me if you want to know more. I was thinking a section on youth and Jews working on climate, like Jewish youth climate movements, sort of like a teen section, Westchester Youth Alliance, I'm sure would love to have sort of what their umbrella for youth, and also potential speakers. We had a really great event with Rabbi Arthur Wasco, and we've recorded it. We can share it. List of speakers, and I love the idea of sharing out possible partnerships. It's one thing to plan an event, let people know about it, but then in the earlier stages, planning an event, who wants to partner with us on this event, text me, email me, and boom, we have I would love to build more coalitions holding events, especially with the Zoom options we have.
That's a great suggestion. Thanks. So, and potential speakers, and just as long as there's somebody to keep that list current and the links current, that's a great idea.
Maybe the youth can volunteer to help maintain this website.
Yeah. But for example, if you're a synagogue and you want to do a program, it might be nice to find one place where there's a list of program providers.
Right.
I can't see the whole screen, but anybody else have a suggestion? A program that was held in the past that we might want to link to? Anything on recycling, energy consumption and savings, equipment replacement or repair?
Evan, I think Ellen has her hand raised.
So, okay, we'll do Ellen and then to Judy. Yes, Ellen?
Hi, thank you, Evan. A couple of things. One, and this may have already been said, sorry, but links to some of those Jewish organizations would be helpful, like the Jewish Earth Alliance. Of course, Chazon I see is there. Dayenu, and certainly there's the Row West chapter. And also, I think it might be helpful, since this is a Westchester centric group, essentially, some of the kinds of facilities and sites that are offered, that can be visited for educational purposes. For example, Composted, which is a Westchester County run facility that it has a great educational opportunity to learn not just about composting in your own backyard, but about food scrap recycling, which is a very important initiative here in Westchester County with so many municipalities involved. But there are many others, and I'm happy to submit some of those that might be of interest for communities to use as educational sources. And
Ellen, I think that's a great suggestion. I can imagine religious school teachers and principals being interested in that list as well as they think about experiential learning opportunities for kids on Sunday mornings or weekdays, what have you. So that's a great suggestion. Compost it and others. And then finally, Judy, and then I think we're going to have to wrap up. Did you have one more suggestion?
Well, I was happy that Ellen just spoke because she knows all about the waste situation in Westchester with the wheelabrator and of course the composting that's possibly coming in. And I would like to do in my synagogue, I'd like to do a teaching about where all our garbage goes and what alternatives there are. So if the roundtable wanted to undertake that, that would be super.
Judy, that might be a good program for us to do first for this group, and then it can be replicated with others. I love that idea.
Evan, I'd be happy to help facilitate that. Through grassroots environmental education, and we are a member of Westchester Alliance for Sustainable Solutions, and working towards addressing the environmental justice issue, and connecting that to the importance of implementing zero waste initiatives and the importance of diverting our discard stream. It's critically important here in Westchester. It's an issue that's not well understood, and thank you so much, Judy, for mentioning it. Always a champion on so many fronts. Thank you.
Bonnie and Pam, I think we may have our April program.
I think so.
So join us for native plants in February, and then perhaps a program on where our garbage goes in April, and that'll make for a pretty great year. Bonnie, can I turn it back to you to close?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Once again, I want to thank everybody for joining us today. I think we can all agree that Tikkun Olam is a large part of who we are. We know that taking care of our planet and our neighbors is the ethical way to go. I hope you all feel more inspired and connected by listening to Rachel and Lauren today. They put their information in the chat, but we're going to be sending out a follow-up email with their contact information as well. I also hope you feel more inspired by this conversation that Evan just led regarding resources on our webpage and perhaps a future session on waste. If you haven't already joined Hazan's Jewish Climate Leadership Coalition, we encourage you to do so as soon as possible. And as a last note, I want to make you aware that the Jewish Earth Alliance, which works to inspire I always get advocacy for climate solutions at the federal level, is inviting congregations and organizations to join them as co-sponsors of the Climate on Capitol Hill, which is taking place on January 17th, 2023. If you think your organization might be interested, please reach out to Pam for more information. And once again, thank you to everybody. This session was so exciting, so nice to see all of you and speak with all of you. And happy Hanukkah.
Happy Hanukkah. Good to see you. See you in February.